guys, so I'm back with a quick video to talk about a question that I get asked about a lot, which is about my hair. People are always asking me, is my hair natural or is it extensions? How do I look after my hair? How do I manage it? Etc. So to answer the question, yes, this is my natural hair in that I have no hair extensions. This is all my natural hair. This is how long it is. It's pretty long. The colour, however, is not natural. My natural colour is, I don't know if you can see the roots here. That is the natural colour of my hair. My hair is naturally a very dark blonde, almost greyish blonde. It's not a particularly nice colour. When I was 16 or thereabouts, my sister, who is a hairdresser, she coloured it for me for the first time, and she coloured it blonde. It was really short back then, but when she coloured it blonde, I really liked it, so I decided to stick with it. So in order to not have to keep colouring it over and over again, I had it coloured the one time blonde, and then I just touch up the roots every 6 weeks and onwards whenever I need to have it done. So in answer to the question, is my hair natural? The length of it is, the colour is not. Next question I get asked all the time is, how did I manage to grow my hair long? As you guys know, growing your hair is hard. If you really want long hair, it's going to take a bit of hard work. It's not going to be easy, and it will take time, and you're going to have to sacrifice some things. But if you do those things, you will be able to grow your hair long. So these are going to be tips on how to grow your hair long, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. And it's all basically like easy stuff, like everyone knows, but I'm going to tell you how I did it. Okay, so first tip, stop cutting your hair. This sounds like a no-brainer, you know, because you're trying to grow it, why would you cut it? But surprisingly, nearly every person I know has the same misconception about hair, that you have to cut it every 6 weeks. This is not true. This is something that hairdressers like to say to keep you coming back regularly. This is something that people like to say, but it's just not true. If you have a short hairstyle and you have had it cut in a specific style, then yes, you will need to have your hair cut very regularly to maintain the style that your hair is in. If you're trying to grow your hair, you're not maintaining a style, you're trying to grow it. So these rules don't apply to you anymore. Stop cutting your hair. Now, fair enough, there are times when the ends of your hair can become very split and dry. If you have split dry ends, yeah, trim them off, but be really careful that you're only cutting off the dry bits, because you know, people go mad, don't they? There's hairdressers that go scissor happy and they just start cutting everything. So just like, stop cutting your hair, just have it trimmed when it absolutely needs it, like just until your hair is long enough. Because the thing is, the in-between stage of growing your hair, when it's from short to long, is horrible. Trying to grow your hair out is a nightmare. You want to get past that stage as soon as possible and just get to the stage where your hair is like here and you're growing longer and longer. So make this growing out stage less unpleasant by stop cutting it as much as you can. Once your hair is long, you can have regular trims all the time again, because you'll be needing to keep it in good condition. So tip number 2, stop putting chemicals on your hair. Again, this sounds like a no-brainer, but the amount of girls I know, right, who want to have long hair, they're still dyeing their hair every 5 minutes, different colours. And it's like, you can't have the best of both worlds. You can't keep colouring your hair and expect to grow it at the same time, because you're going to damage it and it's going to snap off. So, you know, you really need to make that compromise to yourself and say, okay, I'm going to dye my hair this one colour and I'm going to stay this colour until it's long. Once your hair's long, you can, you know, you can afford to be more creative and like dye it more often. But like, you know, whilst you're in the in-between stages, when it's, you know, you're trying to grow it out, you need to like stop putting chemicals on your hair, because it's just going to damage it. Tip number 3, stop putting heat on your hair. When you apply heat to your hair, it really damages it. So when you're blow drying your hair, when you're straightening your hair, when you're curling your hair, all of these things damage your hair. So my suggestion is that, again, it sounds like a really obvious one, stop treating your hair with heat all the time. Like, so many girls I know, every single day they straighten their hair, every single day. You know, that's not realistic if you want to grow your hair. You can't have it the best of both worlds. You know, if you're someone that really, really relies on straightening because your hair is, you know, out of control the rest of the time, then I would suggest that maybe you have to think of a hairstyle that you can wear, where you wear it up on those days when you're not going to straighten it. Because, you know, if you want to have your hair long, you just can't keep straightening every day because it's just going to snap off. It's going to really, really damage it. Same thing with the curling. You know, you can't have it done every day. You know, once a week really, whilst you're growing it out, is the maximum. People think that blow drying the hair is just like a natural thing you do after you got your hair washed, you get dressed, you blow dry your hair. And this is not true. You do not need to blow dry your hair every single time you wash it. Like, there are times when you're not going anywhere where you can stay indoors. On those occasions, let your hair dry naturally. Like, don't apply heat to it because this is going to damage it even more. If you've washed your hair and you're going out and you need, you know, you don't want it all like hanging down all wet and disgusting, you're going to have to like put it up in a hairstyle, put it in a bun or put it in pigtails or, you know, what's it called, a scruffy bun, so it's intended to look like scruffy, something like that, right? Or plait it, because that will save your hair, you know, so much if you don't blow dry it anymore. Yeah, stop cutting it, stop putting chemicals on it, stop putting heat on it. Those three things will really, really help you to grow your hair. Another thing that you can do, right, is to avoid certain things. Stop brushing your hair when it's wet. The amount of girls I know who have wet hair and they use a hairbrush on it. Never, ever, ever use a hairbrush on wet hair. It just snaps it. You know that sound when you're brushing your hair? That is your hair snapping. Each brush snapping your hair off, damaging your hair. Like, don't use a hairbrush on wet hair. Use a comb. Use a large toothed comb when your hair is wet, and this will really help you to prevent damage to your hair. Next tip, do regular conditioning treatments and use leave-in conditioners as well. All these things like really help to hydrate the hair and to protect it from like the weather and the wind and the pollution and, you know, all the other stuff, you know, so you're like protecting your hair. Next tip is, you don't need to wash your hair every single day. If you wash your hair every single day, you are going to destroy all the natural oils in the hair and just leave the hair really dehydrated, which will then make it very much more easy to snap. Next tip is, leave your hair alone. So many people, like, every day they're either like colouring it, styling it, straightening it, curling it, brushing it, putting it up, putting it down. It's like, sometimes your hair just needs a break. Like, just put it in a plait and leave it alone. You know, sometimes I don't even brush my hair. I use my fingers and I just like get my hair like this and I'll start loosely plaiting it just to keep it out of my way. You don't need to be so rough with your hair. You know, if you're rough with your hair, you're just going to create further damage to it. So, yeah. Those are just some tips I have on how to help your hair to grow. And yeah, so they're all like quite obvious ones, but you know, if people don't think about these things regularly, they'll just be like, oh, I'll be alright this time, I'll just straighten it again, or I'll just do this, or I'm in a hurry, I'll brush it quickly when it's wet. Stuff like that, you know, you need to be like constantly reminded and like sit down and think, okay, this is the plan, I plan to grow my hair and this is how I'm going to do it, and these are the things that I'm going to avoid doing whilst it's growing. And if you're in the in-between stages of growing your hair and your hair looks shocking and you're miserable, like, there's not a whole lot that you can do. I mean, that's why these hair extensions are such a good idea, because you could potentially put hair extensions in whilst your natural hair is growing, just to help you out of that awkward in-between stage. You can try that. I've never tried hair extensions, so I don't know, but I know a lot of girls that do use them, who get on with them really well, who swear by them. So if you can't afford hair extensions or they're not practical for you in your lifestyle, I would really like invest in buying some really nice hair accessories, cute hairbands, cute bobbles, cute clips, and just like, you know, if your hair's awful, you can still like decorate it with pretty things, pretty hats. Just, you know, decorate your hair, because but decorating the hair makes it look prettier, so it kind of disguises it. Okay guys, I better go because I have a very grumpy little boy here who's just woken up from his nap, so I'm going to go and deal with him. Probably give him some booby.